Hi there, welcome to Floating in Books. This is my London book haul. Welcome to everyone watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. If you saw last week's vlog, then you know that I went to London, I went shopping, and I bought a lot of books. I didn't just buy books, I also bought some other things. If you want to see what makeup I got, then you need to check out my main channel, Floating in Dreams. There's a link to it in the description box down below, because I showed you last Saturday all of the bits that I was able to pick up in the Black Friday sales. That way, none of the bookstores really had Black Friday sales, but you know me, when I go to London, I mainly go for book shopping, because they just have so many things. And I was holding up something in the thumbnail, which is this little Dawn Books bag that I finally got my hands on. Dawn Books is one of the prettiest bookstores I've ever visited, and I got some books there. But I also got this. So let me get to it and show you what it is that I got. First things first, the bag you saw is from The Works. I ended up going all the way to Stratford to the Westfield Mall, where they have a The Works sort of situation going on. But actually, right across the street is the Stratford Shopping Centre, and there's another one there, and that one's a little bit bigger. And they had slightly better stock. So these were all like £5, and I even got one for £3. I do notice that it's very much cozy mystery that I was feeling this time round. So there's a lot of that. So I got a movie tie-in edition of Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is one of those books that I've seen around everywhere. And it was now £5 at The Works. So I was like, might as well try it. That might be something I want to read at some point. Then this is by Kalynn Bayron. Make Me a Monster, which when I read the back, I was instantly intrigued. So this is about someone who is a mortician, and then some strategy strikes, and things start to like become weird. So it sounds like a little bit gothic-y inspired. Not sure what that's about. You'll find that I don't really know what a lot of these books are about. Okay. I tend to read blurbs, and I tend to go by vibes mostly when I buy books. And then when I get around to reading them, that's when I actually sit down and read. I think these are book 1 and 2 of a series by Thea Guanzon. And this is Hurricane Wars and Monsoon Rising. So this is sort of like, I think it's like Asian inspired world. It's like romantasy kind of thing, I believe. At Waterstones, I believe this was in the romantasy section, but this was with the fantasy books at The Works, so I believe it's a little bit of a, like, it could be both, I guess. It's sort of like this enemies to lovers kind of trope it seems to have, but I'm not gonna lie, I just really, really like the covers. That's why I bought them. This looks really interesting, and a slightly different take on things as well. It's about, like, there's war going on, and then this person has to like marry a prince. It's like a forced marriage, and they don't like each other all that much. I don't know much about it other than that, and I spotted this one at The Works, but then I found out that you needed to read the other one as well. This also has a sprayed edge, which is beautiful. But then I went to the other Works, and then they had both of them, so I was like, might as well. And then I spotted this one really early on as well. I couldn't find like 3 books in this category, because this was like definitely the section where you had all the very like questionable books where you're like, who would read that? But I thought I could like read some like cozy murder mystery Christmas related books. They had a whole section everywhere you went. Maybe this is like an English thing, I don't know, but it had all these like murder at Christmas cozy detective cozy mystery things. So like I said, I do have quite a few of those as well. This is a Murder at Holly House. So this is about a murder that takes place at Christmas time, and it's like a whodunit, like Agatha Christie style, where people are in a house, I believe, and then whodunit sort of thing. I don't know. I just like the cover. Again, I just like the cover. Like I said, I tend to go by vibes. So that was my first stop. Then my next stop was Foyles, and there I bought one of the very few books that was actually on my wish list. I have actually managed to there's just very little on my wish list currently, but I gifted this book, the first 3 books in this series, to friends of mine. Their son had their birthday on October, and a friend of mine was reading this, and when he told me about it, I was like, I'm going to buy that for that birthday, but then I was like, I do want to read this myself at some point. So this is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, and apparently these covers have only just come out. And this sounds so fun. It's sort of like if The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was turned into a game and then written as a book again. That's sort of what this sounds like. I don't remember anymore what it's exactly about, but it's sort of like a mix between, like I said, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Squid Game. That's sort of the vibe that this gives, and apparently each book is like a level. It sounded really fun when my friend explained it to me what it was about, and he was like on the 7th book or something. It's a whole thing. It's like an entire series. I was like, I might as well try to read the first one at some point to see if I like it. And then I found this instantly stood out to me. It's by Susan J. Morris, Strange Beasts. And it's set in like Paris during the Belle Epoque, which I believe is 18th century Paris. And there's apparently there's monsters. And it's about opera houses and catacombs and monsters and men. And it says here on the blurb, the worlds of Dracula and Sherlock Holmes collide in this thrilling exploration of feminine power. I like books like this. Like I said, it's like cozy fantasy. We have a lead female protagonist. There's mystery. There's monsters. And it's got a historical setting. And I'm happy then. This, again, just the cover alone. And it had buy one, get one half price. And it was able to buy 2 stunning book covers. Again, I have no clue anymore what this is about. I think this is pirates. Enter a world where gunpowder, arcane forces, and ruthless ambition collide. A dark flintlock fantasy filled with epic adventures, arcane powers, and creeping dread. Oh yeah, it's about monks practicing illegal blood magic. I mean, like, just the cover alone tells me there's, like, some sort of demonology and, like, weird, like, yeah. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Like I said, I buy books based on vibes. And this vibe, Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. When I read the blurb, I need you to imagine this painting. I saw it at the Tate Gallery when I was in London on Friday. So that may have actually influenced this because I went to Foyles on Saturday. So maybe that's why. But you know how Taylor Swift has the whole Ophelia song? It's based on, I think, Othello, Ophelia, and there's this painting at the Tate Gallery of like Ophelia drifting away, floating in the river. The blurb on the back of this book gave me that painting. So that's why I wanted to read it. It's about someone who's a folklorist, who's witty and whatever, and then there's an expedition and the leader goes missing or is dead. And then what's going on the ship? There's dangers lurking in the dark. I don't know why. And again, the cover. Can we take a minute for the cover? I just like the look of that. So that was Foyles. And then I went into Waterstones and things happened in Waterstones. There's always things happening in Waterstones for me. I mainly bought 2 books that were very much hyped up this year, and this one apparently was like book of the year for Waterstones, and this won the Men Booker Prize, so I was like, okay. And this actually, I saw somebody reading this while I was on the train to London, so that's why I instantly recognized the cover. This is apparently about a young boy growing up in Hungary? Yeah, it's Hungary. And it's sort of like he has this relationship with his neighbor and it becomes a little bit weird at some point. It's called Flesh. It's by David Saleh. I believe he's like British Hungarian himself. I think I saw an interview with him on TikTok when he won. But it's like this coming of age sort of story, and I'm not sure if it's like set in like communism years. It could very well be. I don't know. But this sounded intriguing when it just kept, like, as I was walking around the store, it kept playing in my mind. It's like, that's something I need to read at some point. It's like, might as well. And I kind of like the cover too. So there's that. And this, I'm not going to lie, I was just very, very much sucked in with how beautiful this is. This is by Lucy Steeds. It's called The Artist. And it's a furiously romantic, sun-drenched mystery. So it does have romance, but apparently it's about, like, a reclusive... Look at the end papers. Oh, so pretty. It's about a reclusive artist who is going to be interviewed by a journalist, I believe, but everybody thinks that this artist is a man. But the artist ends up being a woman, and nobody kind of knew, and she's been, like, painting, and, like, everybody loves her, but she's a little bit, like, weird and introverted. At least that's what I got from the blurb, and I think it's set in the 1920s in France. Eddie is ready to be seen, even if it means setting her world on fire. I don't know why, but the vibes that the blurb gave me were just really like, okay, that's something that I would want to read at this point. It's a beautiful book. It just for, like, how beautiful it is made, I wanted to own this. So sometimes I'm that shallow. Another book that really struck me with the, like, cover of it is the newest launch by ML Rio. I did read If We Were Villains, I think it's called, and I really enjoyed it. And this is called Hot Wax. And if I remember, like, it looks like a vinyl and a guitar, like, thing. Those who live fast shall die slow. A devil like you ought to know. This is set in the 1980s, late 1980s. I believe it's about, like, a groupie? I don't know exactly. When her mother remarries, she seizes the chance to join Jill and the Kills on the tour that could be the band's big break if they don't go down in flames. So it's like one of those 80s hair bands that's, like, living life to the fullest, and she tags on. And then she is a witness to a violent thing, and then when she grows older, she starts to question what she's seen. And then she goes on a road trip. So it sounded intriguing. I've liked something by this author before. Ooh, does it? It's a white book. Let me see if ooh. Like, even the actual cover is nice on this one. So I believe because this is such a new book, it was only available in hardback. And it really sounded like something that I might like. So, again, something that I think is going to be fun. So I got some hardbacks. I don't normally buy hardbacks all that much. Oh, well. This is a book that I've been meaning to read for years. A friend of mine read this and was absolutely praising it into the high heavens. It's Tom Rob Smith's Child 44. This is based on a real events. It's sort of like historical fiction, spy thriller kind of thing. It's set during the Cold War in Moscow. And I believe there's a police officer, and he kind of starts figuring out that something weird is going on. And like I said, it's based on real life events. So that's something I've been meaning to read for years. And every single time I'm not picking it up, and now I'm like, I should pick it up. Then this sounded really intriguing. The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey. And this is about, like, set in the time of Margaret Thatcher, so 1980s, like, UK. And somebody is trying to move south because of murders in Yorkshire. And then she needs to leave Yorkshire behind. People they know, people they don't. And they are trying to seek the truth. What if the real mystery Miv needs to solve is the one that lies much closer to home? So it's sort of like detective, but not quite. It seems to be, like, on the brink of, like, detective novel and literary fiction. So I thought that could be a fun one. And again, I like the cover. And then this was really intriguing. I don't even know where to begin with this one. But this is The Turn Glass by Gareth Rubin. And this is one of those things where I'm like, this could be brilliant or it could be a complete gimmick. It says, turn the book, unlock the mystery. So this book is double-sided. So this, I think, is the back because it has the barcode. But I don't know where you would have to start. I think it's like, is it a debut novel? I don't know. But it's Blur by Stuart Turton, who wrote Devil in the Dark Water, I think it's called. And Evelyn, whatever. I read one of those books and I really liked it as well. That was very inventive too. But this book, you need to start reading it, and then halfway through, you need to turn it around to read the rest. Maybe it's a complete gimmick. Maybe I like it. But yeah, it's one-sided, and then you turn it around and you have the other side of the book. I saw that and I wanted to read it instantly. I just did. And then that same day, I did buy most of these in one day though. I went to Fortnum & Mason for afternoon tea, and right next door is Hatchard. Got some books there as well. And this is where we get cozy mystery crazy. I bought Claire Keegan's Small Things Like These. This is another book where... Oh, apparently it's a movie with Cillian Murphy. Need to watch that at some point. But this is something that I've heard so many people hype up. It's such a small novel. Such a short book. It's set in the 1980s in Ireland. And there's a coal and timber merchant, and he's making house deliveries. And this is just one of those books, because I keep seeing it lying on tables, I keep wanting to read it. So, yeah, this is like literary fiction, though. And then we got all the cozy things. This, I thought was really fun. This is An English Murder by Cyril Hare, and this is actually published by Hatchard. So they publish these books, and there's actually a number inside. Look at the end papers again. This is why I wanted to have it as well. Like I said, it's just, I'm going by vibes here. And what they're doing is that they're reprinting, as part of like the Hatchard brand, they're they're sort of creating their own little library. This is the 19th book in the Hatchard library, and they only print 2,000 books of every single thing, and this is number 517, so it's limited edition. And this is a book that's, I believe, again, one of those like, I think it's set around Christmas. Yeah. Snow falls thick on Warbeck Hall as a small group gathers for a country house Christmas. So this is another one of those locked in mystery, everybody's gathered in this manner for Christmas, and a murder happens. I love the design of the book so much. An English Murder. It couldn't be any... When was this originally published? It was first published in 1951. An English Murder captures the uneasy post-war mood of Britain, weaving social change and political tensions into a timeless country house mystery. I was intrigued. Like, as much as I love the way the book looks, I was intrigued. And sometimes these old-timey mysteries can be really sort of cool, but sometimes they can also feel very dated. So I don't know whether that's the case with this. And then I found Martin Edwards. This is Gallows Court. This is London in the 1930s. Love that. There's been violent deaths, and someone needs to solve it. So that's all I needed to know. Again, a gorgeous cover. And then I spotted this. This is apparently an entire series. This is, I believe, the second book in the series, but from the blurb, it sounds like you can read them as standalones. It's by Jim Eldridge, and it's Murder at the British Museum. It's apparently an entire series with murders set in different museums in London. That's all I needed to know. And again, if a cover has this, I'm usually intrigued. Like, again, I went by the cover. And then, well, the final day, I went to Dawn Books. They're in Marylebone, so they're a little out of the way. But there I spotted two books on the same table, and I thought I could try those. So, Everyone I Know is Dying by Amelie Slapper. So, this is about a girl, like a woman, she's not a girl, she's a woman, who just feels like her life is falling apart. She's just going through the paces, and she's not really getting what she wants out of life. So, it's like, she's just going through the motions, but what makes life worth it? I feel like that's sort of like the core of this novel. It's like literary fiction, and nowadays a lot of these books have these very bright covers, and they kind of speak to me as well. And then this, again, I just love the green and the pink. and it's called The Hearth Witch's Guide to Magic and Murder. So it's witches with murder. It's by Kiri Callahan. I think that's how you say it. So I believe it's about someone who finds out there's fae living among people in London. Not sure when this is set. But it's, again, like, there's a magical world hidden in the real world. And this fae has to live among the people. Like, she's been taken out of, like, banishment or something like that. And then she, like, needs to figure something out. And then she moves in with a roommate in, like, modern day life. It sounded really fun. So, yeah, this is, and the person she moves in with is a witch. Like, fae moves in with a witch, weird things happen. So, and it's set in London. So this sounded like it could be a fun book for sure. Ooh, I didn't see, but it has sprayed edges as well. So those were the final 2 books. So that's a lot, I do realize, but I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I was able to find some really good things, and usually I go to London and I have a set wish list of things I want to get. That was the case this time with the makeup, but not so much with the books, which gave me a lot of freedom to just find what I wanted to find and just let it, like, soak in. So those are all the books that I bought. Like I said, I think there's a lot of, like, cozy detective mystery. It's currently what I'm really, really into. I don't know why, but I can't get enough of, like, cozy mystery, like, if it has, like, a historical setting and it's got a tinge of, like, fantasy in the mix. You know I like it. You know I like it. So thank you so very much for watching this video today. Let me know which book you've seen here that you feel I should get to first. I'm currently sort of in between books as I'm filming this because I just finished another book and I just finished an audio book as well. So I first need to pick a book to read what's next. So, and now I have all these new things in, and there's nothing here that, like, screams to me, get to me first. But yeah, loads of really fun things. Beautiful covers as well. That usually speaks to me. And then, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting around to these at some point. And then I'll speak to you soon. So thanks so much for watching this video today. Thumbs it up, and I will be back with a new video next week. Bye-bye.